Hello ladies and gentlemen and friends, and welcome to this new edition of Sartorial Talks. Today I'm very excited and I will tell you why. I'm going to tell you how to find your way in the made-to-measure industry, or to put it differently, if you're a young person discovering the sartorial world, even if you are not a so young person, by the way, but you are still new in this world, you don't really understand the difference between bespoke and make-to-measure, this show will clarify everything and will give you a list of addresses where we believe with Sonia you can be safe if you want to start your sartorial journey and acquire your first or complete your wardrobe with some made-to-measure suit. First of all, I need to clarify once for all something. So many people are asking me, where can I find a bespoke tailor? And what they have in mind in terms of prices is not bespoke tailoring, is made-to-measure tailoring. And I will explain you now the difference. What is bespoke tailoring? Very simple. Bespoke tailoring is the summit of the pyramid. That is to say, you go to a tailor, you choose your fabric, you choose your style, your option, you discuss with it, and then your suit is not sent somewhere else. It's just most of the time behind the door, and it's crafted right there in the premises of the tailor by himself most of the time, or by his team. And all this is done 100% by hand and implies multiple fitting, that is to say intermediate fitting, during which the tailor will work on your silhouette, adjust and adjust and adjust until the finished garment. So you see, very easy to understand. A place, a tailor, the suit is crafted right there in the premises of the tailor, 100% by hand with multiple fitting. That's bespoke tailoring. Now, what we call custom suiting or made to measure, it's quite different. Well, if you are new to this world, it may look like the same. The first moments look the same. You go to a place, a made-to-measure salon or made-to-measure operation, but here you don't meet a tailor, you meet a style advisor that will, with you, decide your fabric, help you to choose your style, the options of your suit. But the main difference is that at this moment, when you have finished this first step, your suit is not going to be crafted here. It's going to be sent in a factory to be crafted. And of course, if it's in a factory, not 100% by hand, I would say in a more mechanized way than traditional bespoke. So you see, it's easy to understand. On one side, it's 100% by hand in the premises of the tailor. On the other side, it's not 100% by hand, and it is sent to a factory. Most of the time, even if some companies, and you will see, we will give you some good addresses, there's no intermediate fitting in made-to-measure. Your suit is sent to a factory, and then I would say 4-6 weeks later, it comes back, and then you are delivered your suit. And if you still have a few fittings problem, normally the good made-to-measure operation can do the alterations, the final alteration to your suiting. So you see, it's almost two different worlds. A lot of fitting here. Of course, it's not the same price. Only, I would say, alteration here. But it makes the possibility of acquiring something custom made for you at a much more reasonable price. Now, the problem is that as many operations of custom suitings are opening now, because I don't know if you witnessed this in your country, but in France it's the case. I mean, the ready-to-wear is literally decreasing very rapidly in favor of made-to-measure. I think it's a global movement in the world, and not only about suitings and classic men's style. I would say it's everywhere. More and more people they want to be unique. They want to have something really made for them. So we can see this movement globally on the planet. On the other side, in the industry, from the industry side, you see more and more factories who are dedicated to ready-to-wear, that is to producing a lot, big quantities of jackets and suits, for ready-to-wear. Now they are turning more and more to made-to-measure themselves, because this is the market today. More and more people, and thank God we are very happy with that, are interested in really discovering the pleasure of having something made specifically for you. Now the question is, of course, when a field like that is progressing. And you can have different kind of actors, different kind of players, some of them really good, some of them not too good. So now the big question is, where, Mr. Jacomet and Mrs. Jacomet, by the way, where do I go? How can I make sure I hit the right door, the right bell? Where do I go? Because there's so many now custom shooting everywhere. Where do I go? Well, I would say that it's not an easy answer. We're going to give you a list of a few addresses that we've been testing with Sonia. It doesn't mean it's going to be the list of the best custom shooting in the world. We don't have the arrogance of believing that we know everything, but believe me, we've been visiting a lot of places, and now we are in a position where we can really advise you places to go, but more importantly, what you should be sensitive of when you visit a place like that. Because the Achilles heel of all these places, it's not the factories, it's not the fabrics, because the fabrics are pretty much the same everywhere. It's not even the premises, it is the people. And, well, you might say, well, that's not very helpful to say that, but, well, it is. Because we've seen, I give you an example. We've seen with Sonia people who are crafting at the same factory. It can be in Romania, it can be in Italy, it can be in China, it can be in Portugal, it can be in India, everywhere around the world. And then we tried the same idea of shooting with two companies who were crafting at the same place, the same factory, with the same software. You know, they use software now to put on your measurements and then your options directly into a software that goes directly to the factory. And sometimes you're very surprised. Because with the same factory, the same fabric, the same everything, one suit is perfect or actually very good and another one is really not so good. What does it mean? It means that the person who measured you, who advised you, who took care of you, who really put his passion at your service made the huge difference. So you see, it's quite refreshing to understand that even if we live in a technological era, even if most of these places are using softwares to really put on your measurement, but also in connection directly with the factory, show you all the details and the option you may have, it's refreshing to really rediscover the fact that the man or the woman you have in front of you, your style advisor, he's the one who's going to make a maximum difference for you. Now, I know you all ask the question, where do I go? Where can I find something at a good price for a good quality? We're going to give you a few examples. So I'm going to speak about 4 companies in France. I'm going to speak about 4 companies abroad for us, that maybe in your country, one in Prague, Czech Republic, one in the USA, one in Italy, and one in Munich, Germany. And we will finish by 2 companies who are a little bit different, one in Great Britain and, of course, one in Paris. So if you visit France, if you want to access something of good quality, we have 4 addresses. So I'm going to go too far into details because these are people who are doing a great job. But I will give you 4 names, Blandin and Delois. We recorded an episode with them for the French channel, but also for the English channel, this channel. So I don't know if it will be broadcast before or after this one, but nevertheless, Blandin Delois is a great company. They have 15 operations all around France, and they have one in Ottawa, Canada, another one in Brussels. So they are an expanding company, and this is for me a good example of what a good made-to-measure operation should be, because the training they do for their style advisors is extremely good. For example, they make the effort each year to do a journey with all their style advisors to visit the mills fabrics, to visit the factory, so that the people can really understand what is behind the curtain. In one word, they're not only people who are selling you a suit that is made somewhere in Romania or in Portugal and they just give it back to you. They really put themselves in the middle of the process and try to give you the best of what they can do. They provide suits, jackets, pants, even shoes now, shirts, outerwear, overcoats, etc. So it's a nice company, 15 places in France, and I would say the average price is around $1,000. I would say around $1,000 to $1,200, or if we speak in euro, a little bit less, around €1,000. Okay, Blandin-des-Lois in France. Then the second one we really like if you visit Paris and you want to have this experience is Howard's. Howard's, as his name doesn't really tell, it's a French person from Italian roots who is working with an Italian atelier. So Howard's is Rue d'Amsterdam in Paris, is a specialist of shirts since decades, and he decided to provide another service for his customers with magnificent made-to-measure suiting made in Italy. So you see, Blandin-des-Lois that I spoke just before are making in Romania in a very famous factory that is doing made-to-measure for many, many, many salons around the world. And Howard's, he is crafting in Italy. So same process. I would say that the style of Howard's is a little bit more daring, if I could say, a little bit more specific. He likes larger lapels with a little bit of curve, a little bit of Italian flair in one word. But I would say the price will be around the same kind of bracket. I would say around $1,200, something like that, to have something of good quality. Howard's in Paris, excellent company. Julien Scavini, of course. If you follow the French channel, you know Julien Scavini, very famous guy. The difference is that Julien is a tailor himself. So he's making made-to-measure. His made-to-measure is made either in Romania or in Italy. So Julien is offering two lines. His entry line, custom made, is made in Romania, and his premium line is made in Italy with I would say 300 or 400 difference in terms of prices. But it's a very, very good place to go. If you visit Paris, the man himself is adorable, is a permanent contributor to our French channel, Discussion Sartorial. Everybody loves Julien Scavini in France. He's a great, great guy, and he's a tailor. That is to say, even if he's crafting in a factory, when the garment is coming back, he is able to alter it according to the gospel of tailoring, because he knows how to do a suit, because he is a tailor himself. So Julien Scavini in France, in Paris, it's fantastic. By the way, you also have a ready-to-wear trousers operation that you can order online, and this is extremely good quality. And the fourth address I want to tell you about, it's an address that we know since a long time. I think this man was one of the original readers of Parisian Gentleman when I only have a few hundred readers back in 2009. It's a long, long time ago. His name is Romain Biette, and his company is called Ardentes Clipeis. That's a Latin locution. And Romain works with his wife. I think he's crafting in Romania, but also in Portugal. And what we like at this place, it's custom made, so made in a factory, but Romain and his wife have developed really a style of their own. They are really working hard to, to work on some idiosyncrasies, on some very specifics on the suit. For example, the height of the notch, the shape of the lapel. So they are putting a lot of passion in their suitings. And if you want something a little bit more maybe specific, a little bit more, I would say, with some flair, maybe it's also a good company to consider. Ardentes Clipeis in Paris. Now, let's go abroad. I mean, abroad for us French. Maybe it's your country. And you may be surprised, but the first destination will be Prague in Czech Republic. Yes, you heard me well, Prague. If you ever go to Prague, well, many people are going to Prague because it's a wonderful city. It's one of the gems of Europe. I think it's one of the cities who received the biggest amounts of tourists, maybe with Florence in Italy. Florence and Prague has two enormous, of course, Paris, but this is a great city. And you should be surprised at why do you speak about Prague instead, I don't know, about London or Milano? Well, just because my wife, Sonia, that you know very well on this channel, she's doing the job. She's really browsing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of suits and jackets on a daily basis. And sometimes she's just coming to me and say, Hugo, you have to look at these people. So most of the time I said, are you sure? We already, spoke about hundreds and hundreds of people like that. But let's just say, look at them. And then we discovered these people in Prague. The name of the company is called The Owners. It's 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman. And I must say that they have a lot of flair a lot of excellent taste. They love what they do, and they really go the extra mile to make sure that you're going to be satisfied with your MTM. One of their specific, something that very few people have on this kind of market is that Veronica, the woman, she's a tailor herself, and she can do the alteration right there on the spot. So you see, it's a very interesting proposal of value, because unlike many other companies, they have somebody inside the house who can do the alteration right there and right now. And for example, we tried them. I made a kind of a daring suit, may I say, with them, because I decided to make yellow suit with them. I'm going to show you the picture now. Well, this suit became a little bit famous on the internet, because it's not every day that you see a really yellow suit, and I've been wearing it ever since many times. Okay, you get noticed with a yellow suit. So if you are starting your sartorial journey, it's not the first suit you're going to make, of course. And they also did for Sonia a magnificent rowing blazer. You know, this beautiful stripe. We're going to show you a picture also. And Veronica crafted in a collaboration with Sonia this oversized pants, very 1930s, 40s kind of look. And it is absolutely beautiful. So you understand, they are crafting in Portugal, these people, and they can do alteration on site. So it's a very safe address, and you noticed immediately that one of their advantages is that they can craft for men, but also for women in a very good way. The owners in Prague, a very interesting address. I would say the average basket will be around $1,200, $1,500, something like that. And if you visit Prague, you can go there, and I'm sure if you had a good alteration tailor, if you live in the US, for example, you can order your suit and it can be shipped there. It's better if you can have the delivery in person so that they can do the alteration, the final one, if you need. But otherwise, it's a very good operations. Then let's go to America. Well, if you follow this channel, once again, you've heard about Enzo Custom. To be honest with you, this is the first time we feel safe and secure to speak about a company who has multiple operations in the USA. Enzo Custom, I think they have 10 showrooms now. We'll show you the list in the description. They're pretty much everywhere. They started in New York, of course, but they are in many. They are in Philadelphia, they are in Chicago, they are in Charlotte, they are in Palo Alto, they are in Miami. Anyway, we'll put you the list. So it's a very interesting operation. They have a very aggressive entry line, because I think they start at less than $500. Well, to be honest with you, if you go to some little bit more refined kind of fabric, they have an enormous choice of fabric there. It will be more around $1,200, $1,000 to $1,200 to have something really of good quality. We did a few suits with them. Personally, I did 2 suits with them. The first one was called, we're going to show you the dusty pink suit, this kind of very strange color, and I had a lot of success with this suit. And then I did a one in pure silk, a green suit with them, and I was both times very satisfied with the result, given the fact that I was not at their place for the delivery of the suit. So without any alteration, the suit came back I would say an 99% well fitted, which is a performance. So Enzo Custom, if you live in the USA, honestly, we are sure that you're going to be well treated there. The prices are extremely of good value, and the quality of the advisors is extremely good too. Of course, after it's a matter of affinity. Sometimes you can feel so good with a style advisor, sometimes a little bit less, but I can tell you that Enzo Custom, you will find good quality and excellent value for your money in the United States of America. So Enzo Custom suits are made in Hong Kong, so it's a little bit different, but I can tell you that the quality of what they deliver, it's always excellent, of course. So for the United States, Enzo Custom is our preferred place with Sonia. Then let's go to Italy a little bit with a company called Lanieri. Once again, you may have heard of Lanieri if you follow us on our different platform. The specificity of Lanieri is everything is 100% Italian. You can't be more Italian than Lanieri. Everything is crafted in Italy. All the fabrics are Italian fabrics. And I would say almost all their advisors either speaks Italian or are from Italian roots. So it's a little part of Italy. Very good company. Average price around same thing. 1,000, 1,200. I know that they now also produce some full canvas custom suiting. And so this is a very good company that we know since a long time. They are very active online. So it's always, it triggers a question. Can I, Mr. Jacome, order some custom suiting online? Because, you know, in America specifically, there's a lot of companies who are starting this thing online. Well, my advice is very simple. This is why we love Enzo Custom. For your first suit, try to go in person. Try to go to a salon that exists, because some tailors who are I-tailors or e-tailers, I don't know how you say that, in fact, they have no shop. It's just a marketing tool between a factory and you. Enzo Custom, we are talking about actual showroom with real people, real style advisors who will really help you. So my advice, if you do your first suit, custom, go in person. For example, at Enzo Custom in one of their showrooms. And then, if you want to reorder in the future, maybe then you can order online, because they will have your measurements. They will know a little bit your taste, your way of life. So it is possible for a reorder. But my advice is that for the first order, please, go in person. And that's the case for Lanieri, who have shops in France and numerous shops in Italy. Go and do your first suit there, and then you can maybe reorder later, because they have your measurements. So that was Lanieri in Italy. And now we have a good address for you in Germany. I don't know if there are a lot of people who are, I know there are a lot of people who are watching this episode from Germany, and we really discovered a beautiful operation called Masura. So it doesn't sound very German. It sounds more Italian, and you'll understand why. Masura is in Munich, Germany. Two gentlemen. I think one was the customer of the other, actually, if I understand well their story. I did a jacket with them. Actually, I did a smoking. Then I will show you now a white tuxedo with them with a shawl color, absolutely magnificent. They did also the pants. And the specificity of Masura is that it's made in Napoli, south of Italy, and unlike many and almost all the operations I talked about before, they add an intermediate fitting. And this is something that is really, I have to credit them for that. So you understand, all the companies before that I spoke about, they take your measurement, they send your suit to a factory, and the suit comes back made. And then they can alter it. In the case of Masura, they add an intermediate fitting. That is to say, you go to them, you choose your fabric, you choose the options on your suit, you shoot everything, and then it is sent to Napoli, to the atelier they are working with, but the suit comes back not finished. It comes back in an intermediate state for a fitting. And this makes, believe me, ladies and gentlemen, a whole difference, because it's an opportunity for the style advisor to really reshape, to really make sure, to make the last adjustment, and then it's sent again to Napoli, and it comes back finished, and it can still be altered if necessary. So, of course, when you add a fitting like that, you add a step, of course, you add some times, you add some work, and ultimately, you add some money because it costs more. It's quite obvious than doing it without a fitting. I think that would be around $2,000, something like that. I'm not sure about the price, but it's more in this price bracket, maybe $2,500. But there, you are going a little bit above in terms of quality and in terms of fitting. And what about London? I know we have a lot of people from the UK following this channel. We're going to give you 2 addresses in London. Of course, we're not going to speak about bespoke tailoring on Savile Row, even if one of the company we're going to speak about is actually on Savile Row. But we're not going to speak about the traditional bespoke tailoring that we love: Henry Poole, Henderson and Shepard, Chittleborough and Morgard, J.J. Skinner, Huntsman, Gibbs and Oakes, all these people that we know since a long time. And I'm sorry if I forgot your name. We have so many friends there. But this tailoring, bespoke tailoring, and London is like the capital city of bespoke tailoring, is not a part of this show because we are talking about MTM here. And MTM is available in London, made to measure, let's say at a more affordable price. So let me give you two names. One name which is actually on Savile Row, Cad and the Dandy, and another name which is a little bit off Savile Row, and that's a name that we have to pay a tribute to him. It's Edward Sexton. Edward, I think he passed last year. He was a good friend of us, very amazing bespoke tailorer. But Edward and his team has been developing since years a made-to-measure option. They call it overseas bespoke or something like that make the bespoke tailoring or the custom tailoring more affordable. So Cad and the Dandy, they are on Savile Row. They have a group of tailors for bespoke tailoring, but they also have a group of people producing MTM, bespoke by hand, MTM more by machine. It's a great company. They became very famous because they have a close relationship with the movie industry. So they have been crafting for a lot of films, and their prices are quite interesting. I don't know exactly where they are crafted. I think it is in India because for a price of around £1,000 for this kind of quality, it cannot be done right there in England. So I think they craft overseas, but they have a team of tailors that can craft here for another price, of course, but also can pop in if there's a problem or alteration of one of the suits. So you see, well, we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to pay them a visit soon, but what we saw from this company was quite impressive. Actually, we met them when we met some friends of Guttridge in Stockholm. And as far as I know, now it's the same company, and they also have an operation in New York. So Cad and Dandy in London, in Stockholm, in New York. You should look at what they do because it's very interesting. It has, of course, a very beautiful British flair. And Edward Sexton, of course, is proposing, not Edward himself, because he passed last year, but all his team is proposing in the Edward Sexton style, something which is not made in Great Britain, made overseas, but of excellent quality, and mostly of flair, because Edward was a very, very talented, extremely talented tailor with a very distinctive style. And then the last address I want to advise you is a very special address for us. It's very close to our heart, and it represents, in my opinion, what the top of the line made-to-measure suit should be. Once again, not speaking about bespoke, not speaking about fully handmade. Right there, I'm speaking about extremely good garments made elsewhere, but with a high level of exigence. Exigence is the key. I'm talking about Atelier de Lucas. Atelier de Lucas is directed by two people, Charles de Lucas and Julien de Lucas, who are the sons of Marc de Lucas, who is the head of Combs de Lucas Bespoke. So you understand, you have an iconic bespoke tailoring house, Combs de Lucas, amongst the most celebrated, acclaimed bespoke tailors on the planet, working for royalties and very famous people all around the world. And the generation, the second, actually it's the third generation, because Marc's father created the company. But the third generation, Julien and Charles, decided to offer something slightly different. That is to say, the same idea of Combs de Lucas with their own patterns, their own style. They're very famous for their fish mouth lapel notch, very, very famous in the sartorial community. It's an iconic places, but they decided that maybe to make the Combs de Lucas experience more affordable to more people for a more affordable price, they decided to open their own atelier, not in Paris, but close to Rome in Italy. Close to Roma in Italy. So you see the difference with all the others is that these people, they have their own atelier. 30 people are working in Italy for them. So the difference between the Combs de Lucas suit and the Atelier de Lucas suit is very simple. One is totally made by hand there in Paris. The other one is sent to their atelier in Rome. and very important, comes back like Masura for a fitting, intermediate fitting. And moreover, with Atelier de Lucas in Paris, you have the Bespoke atelier just above. And then if there's any problem at the delivery of the suit, which is very rare because they have a very high level of exigence, the Bespoke atelier can pop in and make the alteration according to the gospel of tailoring. Believe me, today, I consider that Atelier de Lucas in Paris is probably the closest proposal to bespoke that you can find in the world. That is to say, it's not exactly bespoke because there's some machine operation made, and it's not made at the premises in Paris, but it's made at their workshop. So it makes the whole difference. It's not a workshop they hire to make their suits. It's their workshop with their people, 30 people in Italy. And you get, I would say, okay, they're not going to like it. I would say, for me, it's almost bespoke. Basically, it's the closest you can get to bespoke, but for 1/3 of the price of the real bespoke tailoring at Camps de Lucas. I think Atelier de Lucas, it's around, average bracket, it's around 3,000 euros, something like that, to have a full suit made by this fantastic gentleman. So here we are. I hope this was useful for you. I hope we gave you addresses once again. We don't mean that they are the best made-to-measure operation in the world. There probably are, and there are for sure hundreds of others who are doing a decent job. But these are the people that we know. For most of them, we know them intimately. We know we've been testing them. We've been visiting them. We saw many suits that they make for their client. And if they are in the list, it's because we think you can be safe at these places. But if you had a good experience with an operation we didn't speak about, we are more than happy to discover new places, new gems, and new people who are participating to the elegance and the beauty of this world. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like. I never do that, but my marketing team said, Hugo, say to like and to subscribe and for the referencement. I don't know how it works, but well, okay. If you like this video, please put a thumb up. Please subscribe because it's important for us, and I give you an appointment to the next episode of Sartorial Talks. See you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.